Hello, everyone. Once again, Meghan Markle has captured the spotlight, this time at the prestigious Invictus Games, an event dedicated to honoring military heroes. Just when it seemed that attention would remain on the courageous athletes who have made immense sacrifices, Meghan's unexpected appearance has stirred debate. Is she truly there to support her husband? Or is this yet another calculated PR move designed to enhance her public image? However, the controversy does not stop there. A pressing question continues to linger. Where are Archie and Lilibet? The public sees very little of the couple's children, and they were reportedly expected to attend the games with their parents. Yet, once again, they remain conspicuously absent. What is the truth behind their ongoing seclusion? Are they deliberately kept out of the public eye, or is there something more to the story? In this discussion, we will delve into these contentious issues, examining the self-promotion, the mystery surrounding the children, and the mounting public frustration over the financial implications of Harry and Meghan's participation in such events. Meghan and Harry's choices continue to draw attention, often overshadowing the very causes they claim to champion. As we take a closer look at what is truly happening behind the scenes, I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe Meghan's involvement in the Invictus Games is sincere, or is it simply another attempt to keep herself in the media spotlight? At first glance, Meghan Markle's decision to attend the Invictus Games appears to be a straightforward act of support for her husband, Prince Harry. After all, this event is his passion, his legacy. However, a deeper examination raises questions about her true motivations. Could this be more about Meghan than the veterans or even Harry himself? One of the most puzzling aspects of her attendance is the timing. Meghan's decision to join the event was announced mere hours before the opening ceremony. Was this truly a last-minute choice? Or, as many suspect, was it a carefully orchestrated PR move? If she genuinely intended to support her husband, why did she wait until the very last moment to confirm her attendance? Reports had even suggested that her presence was never initially planned. These uncertainties have only added to the ongoing debate about Meghan's role at events like these. Is she there for the cause, or is this yet another attempt to keep the focus firmly on herself? The timing of Meghan Markle's announcement, coming just before the event's launch, undoubtedly raises many questions. Let's be honest, Meghan has a well-documented history of placing herself in the spotlight. Whether it's through her personal projects, her book, or her often divisive public statements, she always seems to ensure that cameras are nearby. The Invictus Games appear to be no exception. This event was created to honor and celebrate wounded military veterans, highlighting their resilience and achievements. Yet, with Meghan's presence, it increasingly seems to be shifting into yet another stage for her personal brand. The moment she steps onto the scene, the focus instantly shifts. Her attire, her words, her very presence all seem carefully curated to maintain the spotlight on herself. But here's the issue. This event isn't about her. The Invictus Games exist to shine a light on the remarkable athletes who have made immense sacrifices for their countries. Meghan's attendance, however, risks diverting attention away from these veterans. Some, myself included, would argue that rather than contributing to the true purpose of the Games, her presence detracts from it, turning what should be a celebration of resilience and service into yet another opportunity for media spectacle. The Invictus Games are meant to highlight incredible stories of resilience, strength, and bravery. The triumphs of wounded veterans who have overcome extraordinary challenges. Yet, instead of celebrating these athletes, the conversation has once again shifted to Meghan Markle. Her fashion choices, whether she will give a speech, and the spectacle surrounding her presence. To be clear, this isn't about whether Meghan has the right to attend or support her husband. The real question is her presence truly about standing by Harry, or is it another opportunity to advance her own public image? While Prince Harry may have founded the Invictus Games, he has never been the sole draw for media attention. It is Meghan's involvement, her so-called star power, that has consistently dominated headlines. But should she really be at the center of it all? Consider how other members of the royal family approach similar charitable events. Prince William and Catherine, for example, have long been recognized for their ability to engage with the people they are there to support, ensuring that the focus remains on the cause rather than on themselves. There is never a question of whether their presence overshadows the event, because their actions speak for themselves. So, when it comes to the Invictus Games, we must ask, is Meghan truly there to honor the veterans, or is she once again making the event about her? At events like the Invictus Games, the true focus should always be on the veterans, their families, and the remarkable resilience they display. Yet, when Meghan Markle is present, the attention inevitably shifts. The question is, why? But this isn't just about media coverage. It's also about financial priorities. The Invictus Games exist to support and uplift wounded veterans, yet significant funds are being allocated toward Meghan's luxury travel, accommodations, and designer wardrobe. Money that could directly benefit the athletes is instead being funneled into maintaining the Sussex's high-profile presence. Can we really justify the millions spent on their participation when those resources could provide tangible support to those who truly deserve it? So, I put the question to you, do you believe Meghan is genuinely there to support Harry and the cause, or is this yet another calculated move to keep herself in the public eye? And more importantly, is it right for her presence to overshadow the true heroes of the event, the veterans themselves? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Is Meghan Markle truly evolving, or is this just another carefully crafted narrative? While her public image continues to spark debate, there is another lingering mystery in this saga: Archie and Lilibet. For two children born into the royal family, their near-total absence from public life is unusual. This goes beyond simple privacy concerns or parental protection. It raises questions about what is really happening behind the scenes. Despite Harry and Meghan's frequent media appearances, their children remain almost entirely out of sight. Time and again, reports have suggested that the Sussexes plan to bring Archie and Lilibet to public events, yet they rarely appear. The Invictus Games are no exception. Once again, it was hinted that the children might attend, only for them to remain unseen. So, what's the reason behind these contradictions? Some argue that Harry and Meghan have every right to shield their children from the spotlight, and that is understandable. Parents should have the ability to protect their children, especially given the pressures of public life. However, when their public narrative repeatedly contradicts their actions, it inevitably invites speculation. What do you think? Is this simply a case of parental discretion, or is there more to the story than meets the eye? While all parents have the right to privacy, Archie and Lilibet are not just ordinary children. They were born into one of the most publicly scrutinized families in the world. Their existence is intertwined with the royal narrative, making their near-total absence from public life a subject of ongoing debate. Speculation surrounding their births has persisted for years, with theories ranging from surrogacy to undisclosed, details that some believe have been deliberately concealed. While some may dismiss these as mere conspiracy theories, they are, in reality, points of genuine curiosity, even within certain royal circles. There have even been whispers that the palace itself has looked into the matter. Though these claims remain unverified, the lack of transparency continues to fuel public intrigue. Looking back, royal children have traditionally been symbols of continuity and openness, albeit within certain boundaries. Princess Diana, despite immense media pressure, allowed the world to witness William and Harry's upbringing, ensuring that the public never doubted their presence or legitimacy. The same cannot be said for Archie and Lilibet, whose rare appearances only deepen the mystery surrounding them. So, what does this secrecy mean? Is it simply a modern approach to parenting? Or is there something more behind the curtain? In the past, royal children have always been seen. Maybe not every day, but often enough for the public to recognize them as part of the family's legacy. Whether attending public events or simply enjoying everyday moments with their parents, there was never a question about their presence. However, with Archie and Lilibet, the contrast is striking. Their absence from public life raises an important question. Why are they so rarely seen? This isn't just about privacy. It's about the narrative the Sussexes have created for themselves. They have repeatedly expressed their desire for a normal life, free from the constraints of royal duty. But can they truly claim to be living a normal life when they continue to profit from their royal status? More importantly, have their children become part of a carefully curated media brand rather than simply being raised outside the public eye? It's difficult to reconcile their calls for privacy with the highly strategic PR moves that seem to shape their public image. Which leads us to the real question. Are Archie and Lilibet being kept out of the spotlight purely for their own protection, or is there something more at play? Is this really about privacy, or is it about maintaining an illusion? Their absence isn't just about being unseen. It's about the contradictions in the Sussexes' narrative. What do you think? Are we simply witnessing a modern approach to royal parenting, or is there a deeper reason for their near-total invisibility? The issue isn't just that Archie and Lilibet are rarely seen, it's how their invisibility shapes the broader narrative surrounding the Sussexes. For a couple that has built their public image around living their truth, the secrecy surrounding their children only fuels further speculation. Could it be that Archie and Lilibet are the final piece of the puzzle? One thing Meghan and Harry are still keeping from the world? Now, let's address the elephant in the room. The money. Meghan and Harry's participation in high-profile events like the Invictus Games isn't just about their presence. It's about the significant costs that come with it. And the public is starting to take notice. Consider this. Meghan's designer outfits alone for these events can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Add to that their private jet travel, luxury accommodations, and extensive security costs, and the numbers become staggering. This raises an uncomfortable question. How much of these expenses are justified when the focus should be on supporting wounded veterans and showcasing their resilience? At what point does the spectacle of the Sussexes overshadow the very cause they claim to support? The cost of attending and participating in events like the Invictus Games has reached staggering levels, raising a crucial question. Who is paying for all of this? Should a charity dedicated to supporting wounded veterans be responsible for covering the financial burden of hosting Meghan and Harry? Public frustration is growing, with many feeling that these expenses represent an unfair diversion of resources. The money spent on luxury accommodations, designer wardrobes, and private travel could have been better used to provide direct support to the veterans the Games were created for. And this concern extends beyond just this event. Since stepping down as senior royals, Meghan and Harry have frequently been accused of monetizing their royal connections. Their brand continues to rely on their former status, turning every public appearance, charity engagement, or advocacy effort into an opportunity for personal gain. Meghan's initiatives, no matter how well-intentioned, often come with a high price tag. Harry's Invictus Games, while undeniably meaningful, are now overshadowed by questions about financial transparency and the true beneficiaries of their involvement. At what point does their presence become more of a financial burden than an asset to the causes they claim to champion? The media attention surrounding Meghan and Harry comes at a financial cost, one that many feel is being covered at the expense of the very cause they claim to support. In contrast, other members of the royal family, particularly Prince William and Princess Catherine, have long maintained a reputation for responsible financial stewardship in their charitable work. When they attend events, there is rarely controversy over excessive spending or extravagant accommodations. Instead, the focus remains on the cause and the people they are there to support. This is where many feel Meghan and Harry fall short. Howie, can we look at their involvement in charitable causes and not see a meticulously crafted PR campaign rather than genuine philanthropy? The criticism continues to mount, yet their defenders argue that they are simply doing what is necessary to sustain their lifestyle after stepping away from royal duties. But should a charitable event designed to honor wounded veterans really serve as the backdrop for their personal brand? Should their image, media deals, and financial interests take precedence over the very people these events are meant to uplift? This is where the frustration deepens. It's not just about how much money is being spent, but how it's being allocated. For every dollar that goes toward maintaining Meghan and Harry's public image, how much is actually reaching the veterans and athletes the Invictus Games were created to support? When reports surface that a single night at a luxury hotel for the Sussexes costs more than the total expenses for many of the competing athletes, it raises serious questions about priorities. Are these public figures truly aware of the consequences of their actions? Or is this all part of a calculated effort to remain in the spotlight, regardless of the cost? Looking back at history, the royal family, rightly or wrongly, has always had to balance public perception with responsible spending. Figures like Queen Elizabeth II were often praised for their discretion, modesty, and unwavering commitment to the values they represented. But Meghan and Harry, their approach has been markedly different. Subtlety has never been Meghan and Harry's approach. Every aspect of their lives, from business deals to charitable appearances, is heavily publicized, and the cost to their reputation, particularly regarding financial transparency, has been significant. So, what's your perspective? Are Meghan and Harry simply doing what is necessary to sustain themselves outside the royal family? Or are they leveraging their status in a way that ultimately undermines the causes they claim to champion? When it comes to their extravagant spending, is it justified, or are they only reinforcing the criticisms against them? Should the public hold them accountable for the way funds are allocated at these events, or is this just the unavoidable cost of fame that comes with being high-profile figures? Royal or not? Share your thoughts, and let's continue the discussion. Now, let's turn our attention to one of the most debated aspects of Meghan and Harry's post-royal life: their media strategy. Whether you admire them or criticize them, one thing is undeniable. There's no denying that Harry and Meghan are experts at media management. They have built an empire around their public image, with every appearance seemingly designed to keep them in the spotlight. But here's the key question: is it fair to dominate the media narrative, especially when it comes at the expense of events like the Invictus Games? Time and time again, regardless of the event or cause, the focus inevitably shifts to them. Meghan's speeches, Harry's appearances. Everything is so carefully choreographed that it becomes difficult to distinguish between genuine advocacy and strategic PR. Take the Invictus Games, for example. These games were created to honor the resilience and achievements of wounded veterans. individuals who have overcome immense physical and mental challenges. Yet, the moment Meghan steps into the public eye, the conversation pivots. The headlines shift from the athletes to her wardrobe, her speech, and her latest media moment. And that is the heart of the issue. When a cause becomes secondary to personal branding, the true purpose gets lost. Between their claims of wanting privacy and their relentless pursuit of media attention. Think about it. When was the last time a major headline about the Invictus Games wasn't overshadowed by Meghan's fashion choices or speculation about Harry's role as the founder? While the event was initially a collaborative effort designed to spotlight the courage and resilience of veterans, it has increasingly become a backdrop for the Sussex's personal brand. Their Netflix deals, book contracts, and high-profile speaking engagements all follow a pattern. Every move is strategically crafted to ensure they remain in the public eye. And while there's nothing inherently wrong with public figures leveraging their status to make a living, the issue lies in how they do it. The contradiction is hard to ignore. They left the royal family citing a desire for privacy, yet their entire public presence revolves around their royal connections. Their titles, their past, and their insider status are the foundation of their brand. Yet they continue to position themselves as outsiders. So, the question remains, is this about genuine advocacy, or is it simply a well-executed PR strategy to maintain relevance in the spotlight? But those moments are usually focused on the causes they support, not on themselves. Their approach is one of steady, measured public service rather than headline-grabbing controversy. In contrast, Harry and Meghan's media presence often feels like it's designed to generate maximum exposure. Whether it's an explosive interview, a high-profile documentary, or carefully curated photos, there's always a sense that they are actively shaping how they are perceived rather than simply letting their work speak for itself. This is where the disconnect lies. They claim to want privacy, yet they thrive on media attention. They say they want to focus on their charitable efforts, yet those efforts frequently take a back seat to discussions about their personal lives. They step away from royal duties but continue to use their royal titles and connections to secure lucrative deals. So the question remains, are Harry and Meghan truly victims of an intrusive press, or have they become experts at playing the media game to their advantage? And at what point does their constant need for attention start to undermine the very causes they claim to support? Their media strategy, to their financial choices, to their presence at charitable events. Everything they do raises questions about authenticity versus self-promotion. Are they truly committed to the causes they align with, or are they leveraging these platforms for their own benefit? It's clear that their approach is very different from the traditional royal model. Unlike William and Catherine, who let their work and causes take center stage, Harry and Meghan often find themselves at the center of the story. Whether intentional or not, their presence frequently overshadows the very issues they claim to champion. So, what do you think? Are Harry and Meghan genuine in their advocacy, or is this all part of a calculated PR strategy? More importantly, should we, as the public, start demanding more meaningful action and less spectacle from public figures who claim to be champions of important causes? Let's keep the conversation going. From Meghan's commanding presence at the Invictus Games to the ongoing speculation surrounding Archie and Lilibet, as well as increasing concerns about their lavish spending, it is evident that there is more to these matters than meets the eye. The real question we must ask ourselves is whether they are genuinely dedicated to the causes they advocate for, or if their actions are primarily aimed at maintaining their presence in the public sphere. Every decision they make appears to be carefully orchestrated to ensure they remain in the spotlight, securing constant media attention. However, at what point does this pursuit of relevance overshadow the very charitable initiatives they claim to support? Are they truly prioritizing their philanthropic efforts, or is their focus shifting towards sustaining their own public image? Now, we want to hear from you. Do you believe Harry and Meghan's media strategies are sincere, or are they simply a calculated effort to remain in the headlines? What are your thoughts on their financial choices and the continuous attention they attract? Share your opinions in the comments below. Your perspective matters. And if you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and enable notifications to stay updated with more in-depth discussions on the British royal family. Let's continue the conversation and delve deeper into these intriguing royal dynamics together.